In early January 2021, we received a report from a member of the public that they'd found a buzzard caught in a crow cage trap. After receiving the report, I went out to investigate. When I arrived at the location, I found the trap with a buzzard inside it. The weather was really cold and there was no water or shelter within the trap. After discussion with my colleagues, I decided to release the bird and install a covert camera to find out what was going on at this location. I wanted to uncover whether there was any criminality involved and find out who was operating the trap. These are remote cameras that we returned to later to review the footage. They're the best way of finding out exactly what's going on. I returned a few days later to retrieve the footage, and what I saw was really shocking. My name's Tom Gross and I work for the RSPB's investigations team as a field worker. I deal with raptor persecution on a weekly basis, finding birds that have been shot, trapped or poisoned. When I reviewed the footage, what I saw really shocked me. Even though I deal with raptor persecution regularly, it was still quite hard to watch. After I'd installed the camera, it recorded another buzzard entering the trap. A short while later, a green 4x4 arrives and a man gets out. He looks around the trap, possibly looking for a camera. These types of traps can legally be used to control birds such as crows under specified conditions. However, in previous cases, covert footage obtained by our team has shown that often they're used to target birds of prey. He enters the trap and then uses the slash hook to beat the buzzard to death. He takes the body to his vehicle and leaves. Later that day, another buzzard enters the trap. The same vehicle and the same man arrive. And using the same tool, he again enters the trap and beats the bird to death. So I see these type of traps quite regularly in my work, and you know, if I was to see a buzzard caught in the trap, I'd have to assume that the operator would just release it, as they're bound to do by the law. However, we know that in many cases that doesn't happen and the bird is killed. But to actually see it happen on camera, it's really quite shocking. I wasn't expecting to see 2 birds go in during the few days that the camera was running. And it seemed quite routine for the man to go in there and to kill them. And it does really give you an idea about how many buzzards are being caught in these type of traps all around the country. We recovered the 2 stock doves used as bait within the trap. These were later found to have been illegally shot. We know that this was not an isolated incident, and our recent bird crime report for 2020 showed that that was the worst year on record for bird of prey persecution. The motivation behind the targeting of these birds of prey is often linked to game bird shooting, both in the uplands and here in the lowlands on pheasant shoots. The current legislation around these traps is clearly not working. You know, I think we need to see tighter rules enforced about how they're used, when they're used, and the way that they're operated. The sentences that have been handed out in previous cases have clearly not been a significant deterrent. People are still doing this, and buzzards are still being killed using traps like this. A recent UN report has highlighted the need for further regulation of the shooting industry, and we need to see these recommendations implemented.